Welcome to Homeboy Photography. So before I begin, I just want to thank you guys for being here. As some of you have noticed, I was not around for quite some time, and the reason for that is I was working on a song called The Elemental War, and it's just to bring some knowledge about climate change to the world. So I was out promoting that song, and I also flew to Chicago to shoot a music video, and that music video is the reason I've been busy. So I have not been able to work on any content for you guys, so I apologize. But we're going to get straight into this today, and today we're going to talk about an accessory that is useful for photography. So with that said, I have these things. I don't know what they're called, so I'm going to call them a Z mount. It's probably called like a Z tilt head or something, but all it is something that you can be able to place on your tripod and give you the opportunity to go from landscape to portrait photography if your tripod does not have the ability to do that. So for example, in my personal case, for me, I make music and sometimes I want to do portrait photography of myself. So when I want to take a quick picture, I just set this in portrait mode on my tripod, and I have a wireless trigger that I can be able to trigger pictures through, so I can be able to do portrait photography on my own with this. This gives me the opportunity to tilt my camera so I can be able to do a portrait shot. So that is the first way that I use this. And the second way is, let's say for example, you have either you want to take a panorama picture, or if you have a 50 millimeter on a crop sensor camera and there's a beautiful landscape and you just don't have a wide enough lens to be able to get the entire image, this solve that problem for you. And the way it can do that is you can set this on your tripod and take multiple pictures overlapping about a third, and when you are taking those pictures, you can go to Photoshop or Lightroom and be able to create a panorama out of all those pictures. And that is something that you'll be able to do with this. And the reason for that is because you want to take those pictures in portrait mode to get the best results. You can do it with a wider lens, but having a lens that doesn't distort as much will give you the best results. And the other way that I use this item is, let's say for example, you have some unusual angles, or you want to do some macro photography and you want to have like a short little tripod. Let's say there's a funnel spider on the ground and you want to get up close and personal. This will give you the access to be able to do that up close and personal, especially if you like using a monopod for macro photography and you can't go that low with it. So definitely useful. Also, astrophotography. I recently upgraded my video head on my tripod, and the first one that I used to have was not as smooth, but it allowed me to aim my camera directly up completely so I can be able to do astrophotography. The new lens is a little bit bulkier, it's much smoother for video, but I can't tilt it all the way up to the sky. So having this on my tripod allows me to do that, so I can get some very, very nice shots of the sky using this. So this comes in handy. And the reason I have two, which is actually the reason I was making this video, is because, well, first off, one is from Andoer, or Andoer, I'm not sure how it's pronounced through their liking, and then the other one is, looks like it's Neewer. So these are the two brands. This one my brother gave to me when I first started, and this came in handy and I was really happy with it. However, every time that I wanted to take pictures, I needed to have some sort of, key. So if you want to adjust this one every time, you would need either this or you would need one of these things so you can be able to adjust it. And it's rather annoying. It's an extra thing to carry. If it's too tight, you can't adjust it unless you're using brute force, and if it's too loose while you have it set and you're taking your pictures, it might slowly start sliding down, or however you have it set. So having it tight is definitely the way to go, but sometimes while having the camera you can't just like force adjust, and that just becomes rather annoying. It's time consuming, you have to carry extra stuff, and it's just a pain. So that's the reason I didn't like this one. On every other factor, this is a great unit. So it's durable, it's well designed, you can tighten it to a point where it won't slide, and it does everything you need. So it solves every problem that I had when it came to doing everything I wanted to do with portraits and panoramas and things like that. But that just became the reason I decided to search online and find a different unit. So I found this one on Amazon, and as you can see, it has these knobs already where you're able to loosen them and begin adjusting. So this one has teeth on it, so it's a little bit different design, but everything the other one does, this one can do. So you can be able to adjust, and you don't need extra tools to adjust, and that's exactly why I love this one. So I recommend this one. It just makes your life easier, less things to carry, quicker to adjust, so you can get to work and not waste time trying to set things up. So that's what I like about this one. And let's just say, for example, this was due to lack of space. Let's say this is your actual tripod mount, which it actually has both. So both of them have both. You can do the smaller size or the bigger size. But let's say you set this up, you're able to put this on and angle it. And let's say you're using a quick release on your camera. If you're not, if you're just using the standard, I'm not sure what these, since I'm more familiar with music gear as opposed to camera gear. I know this is standard, but that size you can use pretty much all the cameras have that size. Even the Zoom Q2N 4K or other things, GoPros, etc. You can buy the mounts for these things. But let's say you have some sort of quick release. I still have the PL402 from Manfrotto. I can use this quick release thing that I bought, which I can post a link to this too as well on the description, so you can see everything that I'm doing here. But you can set this up here with this. Once you have it locked in, let's say this was your camera tripod set up, you're able to adjust your height, and your camera's locked in so it won't fall off, and you're good to go. So you have the quick release, so if you want to remove it and go freehand, or if you want to lock it back in here, you can definitely do that with this. So this comes in handy, great for speed to move back and forth. So I recommend this, and if you have some sort of Manfrotto or any other brand, having a quick release adjusted onto this will speed things up even more. Plus this one has these extra holes there, so you can be able to mount a monitor or anything else if you're doing some funky angles with video or photography, things such as that. So yeah, so Z mounts, I guess, Andoer and Neewer. I recommend this one, and there's not that many brands that I noticed that had these. There's a whole bunch of different brands that don't have this out there at various prices, but this is my favorite for this reason. So check them out. I'll post a link on the description below so you can see what it is, and if you want more information on them, definitely will be there. If you have questions, put them in the comments below. Please like, share, and subscribe, and if you have any other suggestions of videos for me to make, let me know. Anything regarding photo, video, even music, but stay tuned, I'll be able to post more stuff. Alright, so one last thing, and my one quick suggestion for the companies that make this: if you're using some sort of quick release or even placing your camera directly on this, as hard as you can tighten this, still not quite tight enough. And I know these things have some sort of texture on the unit to prevent it from sliding, but it's not enough. And even now I have this as tight as I can make it with my hand, and it still kind of slides. So I wish there was some sort of security mechanism where, let's say for example, you can just pull and then rotate this way if you wanted to, and when you don't, if it can somehow lock in place so that your camera does not slide this way, because any bit of movement, especially if you're using this for long exposure shots, would ruin that. So that's my one suggestion. So thank you again for watching, and I am out. Latest.